Explore your knowledge with the Botnica.
So, hello friends, our new topic is type of fossils. So, what is the meaning of the fossils? As we seen in our previous lectures, the fossils are the preserved remains or the traces of the ancient life. They offer invaluable glimpse into the past, providing evidence of the evolution, past environment and the history of the life on the earth. Here, breakdown of the main type of fossils. So, as we seen in our previous lecture, what is the meaning of fossils, how they are the form, and why there is importance to study the fossils. So, fossils are the preserved remains of the ancient life or ancient organisms body parts. They are buried in the earth layer and and going through the transformative path and then converted finally into the fossils. So these are the following types of the fossils. First one is a body fossils, second is a trace fossils, third one is a chemical fossils, fourth is a carbon film fossils, and final is a pseudo fossils. These are the main type of fossils. So let's see one by one. So what is meant by body fossils? Body fossils are the direct remain of an organism. These are the most recognizable fossils, presenting the actual part of an plant or the animals. So look at here, the body fossils are the direct remains. These fossils not indicate the activities or not any related part of an organism, but it represent the entire body of an organism or the particular body parts of an particular body part of an organism get converted into the fossils. So these fossils are called as body fossils. So these are the direct remains, actually direct remains of an body of an organism. Not any particular activity performed that particular animal are not consulted, are not given in the body fossils. So directly it relate with the organism body. So there are some examples of the body fossils: uh, bones, teeth, shells, and leaves, and even entire organism preserved in a amber or a ice. So these the body fossils are look like this. So here on the stone there is entire imprinting of the body of an part of some organisms are imprinted on this stone, are preserved or in on this stone. So and also there is a teeth of an organism. So these are the body parts. So these are the fossils of a body part. So these fossils are called as body fossils. So there are further type of the body fossils. So mold, what is the meaning of the mold? So mold is the impression left in the surrounding rock when the original organism decay. Consider in a past time, but some organism or particular organism, when they die, okay, then they slept, okay, slept, or their body undergo decaying procedure, okay. Microorganism are start the process of decomposition. So in organic matters are imprinting on this land surface, and with the time it converted into the fossils, body fossils. So this type of body fossils are called as mold. So second is the cast. So what is the meaning of the cast? Formed when the minerals fills a mold, creating a replica of the organism. So okay, so consider if organism die, they undergoes the process, their body, this died body undergoes the process of decomposition. So there is only the particular capsulated shape of capsulated shape of that body of that organism. So this body shape or this capsulated part filled with minerals, then this type of fossils are called as cast body fossils. Third one is permineralization. So what is the meaning of permineralization? Occur when the minerals seep into the pores of an organism. As we seen in our previous lecture, what is the meaning of permineralization? It is related to the petrification and lithification processes. The surrounding minerals are transferred into the dead remains of that dead remain cells of the dead remain organisms, and with the time the body of that organism get hardened and stony. So this the process are called as permineralization, transfer of minerals into the cell of an organism. So this is all about the body fossils. So second type is the trace fossils. So what is the meaning of trace? The meaning given in the name itself. Trace means impressions. Okay. So evidences of an organism activities. So it is the evidences of an organism activities, not not directly the organism. So it is the evidences of their activity. It relate with the organism, but it not directly organism's fossils. So these fossils don't represent the organism itself, but rather the traces it left behind. So these are the some when a particular organism perform particular activity. Suppose it to be this organism walk, okay, walk on the particular site, or there is a their footprinting left behind. So with time this footprint get converted into the fossils. So this type of the fossils are called as trace fossils. These are not the body fossils, or not any part of an organism, but it is a printing of legs, or it is a bureaus. So what is the meaning of a bureaus? So the underground tracks, okay, the underground tracks made by the animals such as mouse and ants in a previous time. So these bureaus are the type of the trace fossils. Also the nests developed or developed by particular bird or particular insect. So this is also the type of the trace fossils, example of the trace fossils. And also chiropteroids, so elimination of wastage material from the particular organism's body, and over the time it preserved in the soil, okay, in the earth layers. So these are called as coprolites. And bite mark also the example of the trace fossils. So what is the importance of the trace fossils? It provides insight into the behavior, movement, and the interaction of ancient organisms. So these trace fossils gives us the information about the behavior of these ancient animals, how they interact with each other, and also tells us about the ancient organisms. Okay, so this is all about the trace fossils. Third type is the chemical fossils. So chemical fossils are the preserved molecule from the ancient organisms. So these are the types of the chemical molecules or the chemical compound. These are preserved over the time. These are the chemical compound that provide evidence of the past life. So chemical fossils are the chemical compounds that preserve over the time, and it gives the information about the past life. So there are certain examples of the chemical fossils such as lipid, fats. Okay, lipid means in lipid includes fat found in rock specific isotopes of the carbon, and remnants of the ancient DNA. So a particular DNA sequence found on particular object or particular material. So these are the example of the chemical forces. Also, you heard about the chemical. You heard about the carbon dating. So carbon dating, it is a process by which chemical forces are identified. Okay. So chemical compounds which remain on the surface of particular body surface of particular organism, or the DNA sequences, or any other chemical compound that found on a particular ancient site. So it may be lipid, it may be fat, it is a chemical forces. So what is the significance of the chemical forces? Can reveal the presence of a life in an environment where body forces are rare, such as a deep sea sediment. Okay, so it can reveal the presence of life in an environment. So chemical forces are the very important forces. Firstly, it reveals the presence of the life in an environment where the body forces are the rare. Body forces found rarely, but these chemical forces are found anywhere, or it found easily. So there are some examples of the chemical forces. These chemical forces are the amino acids, fatty acid, pigments, porphyrin, phenol, hydrocarbons, polysaccharides, and carbon isotope anomalies. So these are some chemical compounds when found on the surface of any stone, or the any body forces. So it gives all the detailed information uh, about particular body forces, or the about ancient times. So fourth type of the forces is the carbon films. So carbon film forces. So the carbon film forces, the film of the carbon left behind after the decomposition of an organism. The organic material is compressed and altered, leaving a carbon imprint. So it is a type of carbon imprints. So a carbon film forces is a carbon film forces is a forces that is made up of the thin layer of a carbon that form the outline of an organism. Supposed to be, if particular organism dies or particular leaf follow on the earth surface, with the time the carbon material form the outline of that leaf, and the all the organic matters are evaporated. All the living matter from the cells are evaporated, and the carbon form the outline of this leaf. Then the formed forces are called as carbon forces. So the process of creating a carbon films, okay, is called as carbonization. So simply it is a printing. Okay, it is a printing created by the nature with the help of the carbon ink, or the consider it is like an carbon printing. So often preserve delicate structures such as the leaves and insects. So the example of the carbon film forces are the leaves and insect, which preserve with respect to time. So these the forces, the carbon films remains are look like this. So fossil type is a pseudo fossils. So objective that resemble fossils but are not. These can include minerals formation, inorganic structure that mimic the appearance of the fossils. So these pseudo fossils are not related with the living life. Okay, is not related with the living activities, not related with their bodies, and not deals with any living things. Okay, so pseudo fossils are considered as the non-living fossils. Okay, but they look like a livings. Why they look like a livings? Because these fossils form the fossils form due to the activity of minerals, due to the erosion activities. So the pseudo fossils are look like this. Here the image that represent the structure of the pseudo fossils. So important to distinguish, to avoid the misinterpreting non-biological features as evidence of an ancient life. Why this considered as a fossil? Because it is a distinct type of the fossils which not more important to study it, to distinguish it from the living forces. So so this is the need to classify the pseudo forces. So pseudo forces are the non-living object that look like a forces. As we see, it is a non-living object. It is look like a forces. Other sign of the life. It is the other sign of the life. They are the formed by the natural processes. These forces are formed due to the natural processes like wind, water, and time, and can be minerals deposits, impressions, or the markings. So how pseudo fossils are formed? First step in the formation of pseudo fossils are the mineral precipitations. All the minerals which present in the body of an organism are evaporated, so precipitated. So folded rock can be form layer structure that look like a microbial construction. Rock form the structure due to the continuous flow of minerals on this rock. Weathering of minerals concretions can create a complex objective that look like a fossils. So final step in the formation of pseudo fossils is the migration of organics. Organics can be migrate with the rocks and form the carbonaceous droplets or the mineral scars. So due to this all the activities, these pseudo fossils look like the living fossils. So okay, so this is all about the type of the fossils, and uh, if you want to study about the process of the fossilization and meaning of the fossils, then look our previous lectures. So follow and subscribe our channel to see to uh, follow and subscribe. Thank